Hey, 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 what's up? You guys, I don't know if this is gonna work. There's some serious wind here. I might have to just pop into a little cafe so I can continue chatting with you. As you might imagine, the traffic getting into Cannes was beyond the beyond. So that's why I'm late. But I'm going to try to go meet April over at the Radisson. And maybe, if the wind isn't so bad and doesn't blow me off my heels, we'll have a chat. So welcome to Cannes and the film festival. It is a gorgeous sunny day. It's just the wind that's a little cray-cray side. And, you know, y'all know I don't do heels all the time unless it's red carpet weather. So here I am. Check it out, y'all. This is gorgeous, gorgeous Cannes, the Côte d'Azur, as we call it. And the film festival is always a fun time, I think, to be here. I'm really sorry about the rain. Yeah, it did rain this morning, but sorry for the wind. If it's too bad, can you guys let me know? Is the wind causing a problem with the, besides my hair, with the ability to hear me? Because if so, I will just go inside, and for those of you that can stick around, we will talk a little bit later. I want to be able to show you some of the highlights, some of the reasons why I love being in Cannes, besides the glitz and the glamour and the yachts that you can see over there, big gorgeous yachts, and the festival, which brings all these fun filmmakers and movie stars and fashionistas. Hey Allison, how are you? I wonder if you felt the healing vibes from the tribe. Let me know how you feeling, how you doing. I got a phone call. Somebody watched the last live where we were talking about healing. So for those of you who are tuned in and ready to send some healing prayers, we have a gentleman in Monaco who is in need of our help. So let us all visualize him healthy and well. Oh wow, there is a ton of people here. Can somebody comment in and let me know if it's really super noisy with the wind? In which case, I will happily go inside. Well, I'm going to go inside no matter what. Shall I show you where I'm walking instead? Hello! You're shorter than I anticipated.
Well, normally I wear my heels, but I'm in my flip-flops. Hi!
Look who I found! As my dress is like billowing up.
You look amazing.
So April!
I'm in my travel around the world gear.
You want to introduce yourself to the world?
I'm April Chandler, and I'm on a 2.5-year world tour, finding all the amazing adventures out there.
She's on a world tour, y'all.
Climbing the 7 summits and skiing to the South and North Pole. So
oh my God.
It's all fun, but I got to see this lovely lady and some other people while in Cannes, so it's all good.
Oh my gosh. 7 summits and both poles?
Yes, South and North Pole. It's called the Explorers Grand Slam.
The Explorers Grand Slam.
People always say I'm shorter than they expect.
Exactly! Sorry to be one of them. So, what's the Radisson, a place we can sit? Yeah, so you know what, guys? I'm sorry for the wind and the noise. It is like intense out here. We'll pop in there and we'll come back live, okay? See you in a minute. No heels this trip. And I cannot stop the live broadcast. For some reason, your little finish button just won't light up. I mean, it's there. So you guys are just going to walk with us. And I'll show you some of Cannes as the wind. There is the yachts. We've got police directing traffic because, yeah, there's the Mediterranean, a little bit of the sea you can see. And over there is the palace where the actual festival takes place, all of the film screenings and whatnot. And hopefully we'll be able to be in a quieter place. Boy, is this wind like serious. Here is the Radisson Blu, which is also home to the Thermes Marin, which is a special, what do you want to call it, spa, where the water in the spa is seawater. Oh my God, I feel like my dress is about to fly up. Oh, we're about to have a Marilyn Monroe moment, y'all. You think we can get like a little tea or something?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's the windblown look, ladies and gentlemen.
It's definitely the windblown look. I've gone. It's the wild.
So, there's April. So here we are, guys. I thought it would be fun to come down here in Cannes. I thought I was going to be able to walk you around the Croisette, which is the lovely boulevard right in front of the sea, so that you'd be able to see the passers-by. But as you can see, the wind is a bit too much. And I don't know where we can sit. It's kind of full here. Let's see if we find a little spot to sneak away. So I don't see any comments flying up. I would be swipe left to reveal comments. There we go. Sarah King. Hey, fabulous Sarah Jane King. Congrats on the book. I saw the book cover. Oh. Hey, Robert in the US of A. What's up with you? I'm here in the south of France. So Sarah Jane, I want to know about your book. The title was quite provocative. The title was something like what? Something about Harriet when the buried baby comes back. I don't know. That's probably a little crazy. Thank you so much. So now we're in. Hey, Hilde, how are you? And yeah, Sarah Jane, I was so excited to hear about the book. You have to tell me all about it so that I can do you a solid. Sarah Jane, y'all, she is in South Africa, and she hosts a radio show and interviewed me a few weeks ago about my book, The Orgasm Prescription for Women. So Sarah Jane, I will have you on my show. For those of you who have been following along my crazy story, I recently announced here on Facebook Live that I am doing some more radio. And Killing Caroline, yes, please send me a copy, Sarah Jane, because my radio exposure is about to explode. Can't tell you all the details, but as I shared here before, I am casting for the radio network America Out Loud. And the show that I'm doing on America Out Loud is called Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Pleasure. And it is quite a collection. We are hosted by a gentleman named Malcolm Out Loud, who's had a 30-year history in broadcast media, and recently, just a year ago, started America Out Loud to bring what he calls the out loud truth. So it's no holds barred, nothing really terribly sleazy or awful, but what has been interesting is Malcolm has 10, well actually right now he has 9, I'm casting the 10th. He has 9 co-hosts, women from around the world who are co-hosting the show, and I'm just one of those. But they are so clever. They have partnered us up with some of the most, sometimes the topics like Get Me. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to any of them. Have you yet? So, crazy stuff. Do you mind being on? You want to be on?
No, it's fine.
And then we'll talk about your Grand Slam.
No, it's fine.
But on Malcolm's show, they tend to pick the strangest topics. It's a range of things: life, liberty, and the pursuit of pleasure. And one of the things that was crazy was I got paired up with some very religious people. And y'all know I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And I'm all about tolerance. But they were going off on me. This one woman, she was going at me, almost attacking my parenting style. I was like, okay, wait a minute now. You know, I mean, you're a parent. Can you imagine if someone was going to, like, tell you, oh, how dare you take your children out of school for 2 years and go around the world? What kind of parent would do that? Or
I've had something like that. So people posting on my page when they're, because they're staying there apart from the holidays, and they've said, how can I sleep at night abandoning my children?
You've abandoned your children. That's the one thing, as a physician, even though I started off in pediatrics, the one thing that we don't do is we don't tell people how to parent, because it's just like sacred ground, right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like if you ask for advice, great, we're all for it. But yeah, so on this radio show, how can you listen to the show, Sarah Jane? You can visit americaoutloud.com. So here's the cool thing. This is in I won't say two locations because it's actually global. I'm going to get a little closer, darling. So americaoutloud.com is where you'll find the radio streaming. So the cool thing about this network is it's streaming online like regular radio. And in America, you can also hear it in your car or anywhere that you get a radio signal. So iHeartRadio as well is carrying us. But it's also as a podcast, so it's on demand. So if you go to americaoutloud.com, you'll be able to find it. If you search on iTunes or Stitcher or any of your favorite podcast delivery systems, you'll find it there. And what's going to be cool is my show. You got some hearts? Yeah, I love the love. It's cool because my show, I thought it was going to be titled The Enlightened Life. And I had a conversation. With Malcolm last night, and he was like, "That's too soft. That doesn't represent your brand." You know, Andrea. Well, don't let me mimic him. But he's like, "You know, Andrea, I've been in broadcast media for 30 years, and that just doesn't represent your brand." So, yeah. So we're going to play with some new titles, and since it's a network called America Out Loud, I thought about your life out loud. Because that's what I do for y'all. I say the things that you're thinking or that you've processed internally that sometimes you don't want to talk about, like orgasm. Sometimes you want to talk about, like earning money, and all these other sorts of things. So, good morning, Sinitra. Good morning to you. It's afternoon for us. So anyway, I am really loving it. You like the title, Sarah Jane? Okay, I'll take that as a thumbs up, especially from a woman who's also in radio. So your life out loud will allow me to have my rants, but also interview people. So anyway, that's the exciting thing. But the other exciting news is I am now going to be doing some casting. So if you are a coach, a healer, a change maker, a light worker, someone who has a message that you believe can impact millions, and you want to go global in the English-speaking market, I am going to be doing some casting for a radio platform, my own and others, where you will be able to be heard in America on the radio and globally via the podcast. This is exciting news to me, because it helps me achieve one of my goals, which is to impact 1 billion lives. I want to touch 1 billion lives, and I can't do that by myself. That means I've got to find the right partners, the right coaches, therapists, healers, all of you who have really developed your own methodologies, or you've downloaded them spiritually as we do. And now you want to share it with the world. So books, television, radio, and public speaking, getting on those TED stages, watch this space, because we are going to be empowering you to get your message out to the world. So, yes, thank you, Sinitra. I love it. She used the T word, y'all. Somebody else recently challenged me on that. Simon X, as we'll call him, whom I met in London recently, and he literally walked up and said, "So, which are you? Are you a million, a billion, or a trillion kind of girl?" And I was feeling sassy, y'all. And there's only been a couple people I've ever said it to, but I was like, we'll use the T word, trillion. All right, wow, your life out loud. Okay, we're getting hearts, we're getting joy. Hey, Rob, how are you? I know I owe you a couple of emails. Thank you for the introductions. Good to see you, Rob. This will be interesting for you. You'll have to watch this back. I just mentioned a way for our networks to reach 1 billion lives. And I know that, Rob, you are also interested in empowering people and their lives financially and beyond. So now I want to ask you, April, because you were introduced to me by my dear friend and client, Derry Llewellyn Davies, who is also on a serious Grand Slam life adventure thing. In fact, he wrote the book, Life's Great Adventure, about many of his adventures to various peaks.
He's a huge inspiration, that's for sure. And an absolute awesome guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's also crazy.
Yeah.
We can say that because we know him personally. You know, who's been to, 5 of the 7 highest peaks in the world so far. Was on Mount Everest when the earthquake hit in 2015. But he introduced me to this lovely lady here, April, with whom I'm sitting now in the south of France.
In Cannes.
Yes, and we're in Cannes where it's windy, but yeah.
I've given
sorry
up
about
with
the
it.
hair. Well, at least yours is all nice and tidy. I'm still.
This is the wash and go look. When you're on the road and you're camping,
Is that what it is? Is
yeah,
it camping
I'm
for
camping, yeah. Everywhere I go, it's I've done the world's luxury style hotels, you know, flying, but this time it's on the road.
So do you have a camping car?
I have a 4x4 and I take out my tent and I set it up and I'm cooking and
So you have like a little hot pot, a little stove, a little
stove, little gas.
And so when are the kids with you? Are they with you for the whole thing?
No, they were going to be, but they made a decision to stay.
Okay.
They didn't want to come. Now,
Wow. Now how old are they?
7, 8, and 10.
So get this straight, y'all. She's unplugging from life for 2.5 years to do this life adventure Grand Slam. So tell me where it started. Let's start from the beginning.
So I basically, you know, I'm not very good with business, basically.
Okay.
And
It's a good admission.
yeah,
Right off the bat.
I'm more of a sort of a startup entrepreneur. I'm the ideas person. I can get things going. I can see the quality in a brand, and I can visualize the whole thing. But then when it comes to operating it, it's not me.
So you're the visionary.
I'm the
You're the
visionary.
ideas woman,
Yeah.
but the execution and the follow through, not so much.
It's not my thing.
Got it.
And I found it really tedious, and you know, and I said I would never get caught back up in that sort of life, but I ended up getting caught back up in that life, and it sucked literally my soul out of me.
But you were living on a farm, weren't you?
Yeah, but it was doing the business, and all I did was business, thinking, money, sales, and all that, and it becomes such a stress, and trying to work out licensing and all of that stuff, and I realised, you know, that is not the life I wanted. That's not what I signed up to go to France for.
But you were up in northern France. You were
in Normandy.
In Normandy.
Yeah. And anyway, after sort of a lot of different things happening, I got run off the road by a huge truck and dislocated my shoulder and had some other adjustments, and it made the first thing that I saw, well, the first thing I thought when I was getting run off the road was, thank goodness my children aren't with me.
Oh my God.
And the second thing that I thought was, you know, is this it?
So you thought you might die?
I thought that was it, yeah. And so it helped me. I mean, I always think, like, I always reevaluate and I think things through and reflect quite a lot, trying to live every day as, you know, as it's our last. But that really, something like that really shakes you up. And I then had to go to London and see Richard Branson about the business.
Okay. And are you from England? Where are you from originally?
Yeah, from England, yeah. So I drove to London, I did the meeting, I did everything like that, and when I got back, all of a sudden, I couldn't move my back. I was literally, and for 2 weeks, I was laying on my back and I was having to turn myself, throw myself out of bed, because this was like to go to the toilet and stuff. And while I was laying there, I figured out this whole program, Wonder Hunters, basically to travel around the world with the children and film it and to show the best in humanity against the backdrop of amazing wonders. And that's sort of how it all came about. So all this, laying on my back, figuring out, and I thought, well, obviously if I went and just did it off the grid, my brand would go, how would I make money? And so I contacted a broadcaster and asked them, you know, pitched it to them, asked them if they would want to air it. They said yes. And then I'm now part of Patagonia's pro team. I've got a few other sponsors, and you know, that sort of extended to doing this. But I couldn't do all the summits and the Explorers Grand Slam, like the South and North Pole with the kids.
Yeah.
I was going to go back and do some of them after it finished. But when they made a decision not to come, I thought, well, as I'm going around, I might as well do it. And so we're now filming that as a separate documentary film, which has never been done.
Okay, so where have you been so far? Where does it all start?
So I've been through, so there's 3 things that I'm doing in each country. I'm doing a challenge.
Okay.
Something I've never done before.
Like what kind of a challenge?
Like, so in Wales I did the zip line, which was 118 miles an hour. In Italy I did windsurfing, which I've never done before. It doesn't always have to be like high mountains, but
just some sort of challenge out there in nature.
Yeah, something new, something, that I've never done before. And I
Wonder
did
Hunter.
Yeah.
You get some hearts there. Hey Sarah, welcome.
And yeah, so that's basically, so I'm meeting someone new every place I go. I'm visiting somewhere new every place I go, and I'm doing a new thing. And I'm hoping that other people will start to
Can we
do new
follow
things.
you? Are you broadcasting any of it live, or are you just taping? Like, are you?
Yeah, so we're doing. I'm not recording episodes the whole way. So there's certain points where we've got projects and the crew come. New Earth Films.
Oh, okay.
They're great guys. And Kevin, basically, he's done a lot of these mountains. He's done a lot of adventures. And
So she's not alone, y'all. She's not
the
just.
whole time. Sometimes I'm alone. So during the journey part, I'm alone.
Yeah.
And then they're lucky because they just fly in and meet me, do their
Right.
job, and then they go off.
They
and then
shoot
I
it.
carry
They
on.
get to be all in the warmth and safety and whatnot.
And I'm in a car traveling. So I go from here through to I'm learning to make wine.
Learning to make wine. Okay.
That's my challenge for France.
Why not?
And then I go to the Pyrenees to climb Anito. So all the mountains I'm trying to use as a training ground.
Got it.
And
Because you got to work
yeah,
your way up.
you gotta work
it's
your
not
way
like
up.
you can just hit
No.
the biggest, baddest mountains on the planet
No.
right away.
You need training. You need, but the only way to train for something like that is to climb. More climbing,
absolutely.
more climbing.
Absolutely.
So
So you've got all of your gear, you're being sponsored in that way. Like, you should see she's got these perfectly, her little nails and her toenails are done, y'all.
yeah, but it won't last.
That won't last,
This
'cause
has been
pretty
2 weeks. I'm actually surprised it's lasted this long, to be honest.
Because I'm sure when she's, on the poles, it ain't going to be this glamorous.
It won't be like that when I get to Morocco or Africa. So I'm getting involved in a couple of sanctuaries in Africa.
Wow, so you're going to have, like, all of the extremes.
It's amazing. I'm hoping that some people that I know will come out and join me in certain places. And as I said, it's really about inspiring people to change their lives, to live, love. Love is the most important thing, and passion and dreams. And if you haven't got that oomph about your life, then you're just surviving.
That's right. It's the oomph for your life. So yeah, it's your life out loud, and she's doing it like for real, for real. So how did you recover though from the back issue?
Well, I had an osteopath put my shoulder back in and did some manipulation.
Did some manipulations to get
and
you
then
all.
yoga, Pilates, and yeah, I just
Hey Zazzy.
yeah, you just got to work on yourself. But I think also it's reducing stress and being relaxed. It really does help with your muscles.
Yeah, but you unplug from the big job, and now you're plugged into this grand slam. How is that
being on the road,
less stress?
It's actually quite interesting because I'm literally sleeping on a mat that's about that thick in a tent, and I have had the best sleep I've ever had.
Wow.
I'm regarding myself as a sort of a minimalist.
Yeah.
I'm vegan, as you know, gluten free, and I'm a minimalist. I mean, I'm traveling around, and what I've got in my car is basically what I use.
Wow.
And
So do you have supplements with you? So by the way, she's also written, you've had some cookbooks and some smoothie books. Hey Bea. Hey Anya. Great to see you guys.
oh, beer, I know beer.
Do you know Bea? I gave Bea a shout out. Did you see my Wednesday rant, Bea? And I also, when I was in London last week at Expert Empires, I shared a bit of our story, Bea. So yes, I was asking her about supplements because she shared your, was it a smoothie book?
Yeah,
That-
you have it, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do, because all I can say is it's tough being vegan, especially in the south of France. I'm just saying.
I just went to a vegan restaurant in Monaco.
Did you?
It's,
You were at Stars and Bars?
No, it's Evita. It's owned by Djokovic
Oh,
and his
okay.
wife. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's the first vegan restaurant in Monaco, and I noticed in Italy there was a couple getting ready to open. So I think there is a movement.
Yeah, it's taken some time, but finally we are having some vegan eats here on the Riviera. It's challenging,
It is.
especially when you're traveling. So in your little 4x4,
I have a bag of superfoods.
yeah,
And I mix it into like drinks and things like that. But mostly I'm just really being raw. I mean, I can't go 100% raw because it actually drains me, but I'm about 70%. So avocados, nuts. I'm mixing obviously the alkaline with the acidic to keep myself healthy. I'm drinking lots and lots of water. I have the only drinks I've had one beer. While on this road trip, and it was because it was a really long drive, and when I got to where I was going I was like, I need a beer. Just forget the water, forget the juicing. I was, yeah. And that's the heat, does it to you, doesn't it?
yeah, it's like even though it could dehydrate you, you want it. So Sonia says Djokovic is her countryman, great restaurant. Oh, Sonia.
It's a brilliant restaurant. It's so lovely the way they've designed it, and they're actually putting my books on their shelves in there, which was really nice.
Excuse me, nice.
So I'm pleased, yeah.
So you are doing a little work along the way,
A little bit.
spreading the brand message.
Well, trying to, I'm enriching people's lives as as I'm going, and they're enriching mine. I mean, I've met the most amazing people, and actually it's a different type of bunch from hotels, because when you're in hotels it's very transient.
Yeah.
But on the road they're actually really wow. I mean, I've connected so many people on Facebook so far, and I imagine by the time I finish I'm just going to have this whole community of people on the road.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I think you're so brave. I really do.
Thank you.
And someone says they love your voice and your dialect. Where did you grow up?
In London.
In London.
Yeah.
So I'm just learning all of my various UK accents. My daughter is really good at mimicking them. She's kind of a sponge that way. She's crazy. And that's the other reason why I'm down here in Cannes. My daughter is coming back on the ferry. She's been gone this week. Hi, Sarah Kate. Hi from London. All my Londoners. So yeah, Sienna has been away on a trip, and for 4.5 days, 4 nights, 5 days, on this little tiny island right off the coast, and she didn't want to go. I'm not supposed to say that. She didn't want to go, and she was really worried about the food issue, because being vegan when you're away on a school trip is not easy. So we had to pack a bunch of extra stuff, and they've gone and done some interventions with whoever the cafeteria people are at the dorm where they're staying. So I'll see her in, maybe an hour?
Yeah, the French system isn't great with that. I remember when my kids went away, and they're vegan, and I had to pack some extra staff, and they had to make massive allowances for their food.
Yeah. Otherwise, she would just be eating rice and pasta all the time, and carrots. I cannot have my child coming home hungry. She's already just a little bitty thing, growing like a weed. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see her when she steps off the ferry boat, see if she's been missing her mama, missing the good life, the comfy life, and I'm sure we'll have a feast all weekend. So very, very cool. Well, I think you're very brave. I think it's very brave to unplug from work, traditional work, although I think the documentary and these other film projects are going to be huge, showing people this minimalist life and what it means to kind of say, you know what, I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to live my life out loud.
And show how good the world is, because I think we live in fear.
We do live in fear. That's another thing we talked about on this show, is that because of the media, yes, there are scary things going on in the world. Don't think I'm naive just because I'm here in La La Land. There are scary things going on in the world, but I think that because the media amplifies it, and because it's human nature to look for the things that pose threats to us, we start to really feel like this whole world is so full of negativity and scary. So I think it's bold that you would leave the kids and be on the road and be, as what some would call, vulnerable. Because who knows what kind of people you're going to meet. You've been meeting fabulous people, but
it's not always going to be the case. I mean, But like you, I'm aware that not everyone will be nice, and I have to take precautions. But you know, if we were worried about all that stuff all the time, we would never do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And I really believe that people are good. There is more good people than there is bad people.
Yeah.
And I'm being smart by where I go. I'm not going into the ghettos, you know, and put myself at risk just so I can show humanity, you know.
Thank you. Thank you, April.
But I really believe that, you know, I've said this before. I wrote a post about, you know, that the skin is an organ. And that's it. And if people realise that the connections we all have between each other, regardless of what we look like or where we're born or how we're brought up, it's our actions today, right now, that make us who we are. And some actions, some things, you know, we make lots of mistakes. I've made lots of mistakes, but I don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Just lots of different ones.
But no, let's stop with that, because the skin really is the largest organ on the human body, you know, and it performs all sorts of functions besides being, you know, bronzed and beautiful.
Or red in my case, because I'm so pale.
But the skin is just an organ. So it begs the question, would you judge me based on my kidney or my liver? Exactly. Would you judge me based on my organs? And that's basically what happens when we judge people by their skin color.
Exactly. And that's what I like. I hope that by going out there and showing the best in humanity and the connection between all of us, there's no distinction between colour or race or where you're from. You know, I hope that it will change people's perspectives.
Yeah, we all want the same things. We all want health, happiness. We want love.
Exactly.
We want our children to be safe. We want them to grow up with a better world than what we're seeing right now. That's what we all want.
Exactly.
Well, it's been lovely to catch up with you. Nice to bump into you right here in Cannes, right on the Croisette. So I promised last time, guys, that I would give you the opportunity to ask questions, which I am remembering now. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to. Or for April about her life.
She's going to try and camp out. Oh, well done.
So
or
Melvin, yeah, you're going to try a vegan camp out. So do it, Melvin, and then blog or vlog about it. Come back and tell us what you learn. It's always I don't know, to me it's an adventure. I've learned on my last couple of trips, I just take a couple of avocados in my suitcase, put them in a special like kind of Tupperware kind of thing, and then at least I know, no matter where I go, everybody always has salad. You know, every restaurant has salad, and if I can add enough of my own healthy proteins, then I can at least survive for the first couple days of any trip. But that's what we've had to do. Actually, it was Derry that started to call it the vegan backpack. He was like, you know, I think when Sienna and I were with Derry and his kids in Wales, we were also in Wales, it was like, oh no, going on this, you know, road trip, are we going to find any vegan stuff when you get further into Wales?
No, there's nothing.
No. It was like, time for the vegan backpack, so we stocked up so we would have plenty of good stuff. So, I don't know, it says that we have a few people who are still watching. I don't have any new comments, no new hearts. Are we still live? Are you guys still there? I always have to ask. Because although this is a country that is a developed country, the internet is not so developed. So, do we have people who are still around?
Yeah, you've got someone else this time.
Okay, fabulous. Well, anybody have questions about the radio show? Aren't you curious? I already have some new talent who will be profiled and showcased on the show. So we were just talking about it this morning, about building up the brand presence. Hey, Bobby G, you're here. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know that the internet is working. So would you be willing to check in with us from time to time when you're on the road, when you have Wi-Fi?
Which is I'm discovering actually very, very difficult. But you know, actually, it means that I have to completely unplug. I'm changing my SIM card every country I go to because I can't get an international plan that covers everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So I also don't have data between locations. And at first I was like, but then I was, do you know what, this is good. This is good. This is me. Like,
It's bold.
You know,
That's almost like a detox in and of itself. Hey, Namisha. Hey, Jonathan. Glad that you all are here. So it is like a detox. Like when you detox from being hyper connected, where you're getting everyone else's status updates, and you feel the pressure to put your own updates out there and checking email. And yeah, I mean, to me, it's a bold move. I think I could do it. I think typically when I go away and I'm forced, you know, the first day I'm like in resistance, thinking like, what am I missing? And then I can like let go and just relax into it. I hear you, Sarah Kate. She says she would struggle without Wi-Fi.
yeah, but once you think that, and I did at first, but honestly...
But we're old enough that we grew up without Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but once you start, and you have, like, as you say, after the first day, and you realise that you haven't got it, you just actually enjoy the area. You look for wonders, you look for beauty, you get involved in outdoor activities.
And you're so much more present with what is there.
And that's one of the things that I talk about a lot, is being completely present, being giving, you know, people your full attention. And if you're on Wi-Fi and you want to check in Facebook and everything else, you're not really giving people your full attention.
Yeah, I would love to turn the camera around right now to show you the other people in the lobby here.
All on phones.
But they're all on their phones. And one guy's on his laptop. Nobody's looking at each other or talking to each other. I won't do that. I won't violate their privacy, but anyway. Yeah, yeah. So there you go. You do remember life before your first Nokia mobile?
I remember those. It's such a long time since I've seen one, though. Are they still around?
I'm sure Nokia is still a brand that we know, right? I always laugh that, you know, I was one of the first people in my, I don't even remember if it was high school or university, but I was in Atlanta, and I was one of the first people who had that brick phone in the car that you really couldn't do anything except be plugged in the car, and it was ginormous. And my daughter, she just laughed. She's just like, "Oh my God, how did you survive?" You know, but we did survive. You know, we survived, and life wasn't bad. I think we had a good life.
But now we're more connected. But I think it's understanding where the line draws. Like if you are with someone in a relationship and they leave the room and they're straight away on their Facebook,
yeah.
I don't regard that as being healthy.
Yeah.
But if you're out on the road or you're working, the connections, I mean, being able to meet different people from all over, and then when you do meet people,
yeah,
then you can stay in touch and they can see what you're doing, you can see what they're doing. I think that's fabulous.
Yeah. So Mark says that Microsoft owns Nokia now, and John said, Jonathan, whatever happened to conversation? Like, yeah, right? Like, actually, low battery. What happened to actually like looking people in the eye as you're having a meal and connecting? One of the things my daughter absolutely loves, I don't know if anybody out there has ever heard of these guys named Rhett and Link. Anyway, Rhett and Link are some YouTube stars that are really, really funny and really, really clever. And they did a music video called Get Off the Phone. So look that up. Rhett and Link, Get Off the Phone. But it's really cute. It's like, get off the phone, it's gonna be okay. I don't even remember something about, you know, anyway. But it's cute. It's a cute video showing people that are like too busy they're Instagramming their meal instead of actually eating it.
Enjoying it and savouring it and appreciating it. I know it's something that, as I said, you know, I struggled being in a relationship that was very like that, you know, a lot of social media, and it's not what I want. You know, I want someone present, you know, someone looking in my eyes, someone there, you know that you're actually talking to.
Yeah.
And I think that you can meet people, but it also can break people.
Yeah.
And it can ruin you, I think, if you get too... Because at the end of the day, in 40 years, when you go, you're in your coffin, no one from Facebook is going to be there.
Right.
You know?
Are you guys going to be there when I kick the bucket? Probably not.
No one's going to, you know, they'll be like, okay, oh, that's a shame, she's passed away.
It's like, oh.
Okay, yeah, next person.
No more Your Life
know,
Out Loud with
you know.
Andrea. Moving on.
But it's the people that are in your lives, you know, that you're really truly connected to.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Facebook is not friends.
Yeah, they call us friends. But you know what? I'm moving my profile. Well, I mean, my personal profile will stay, but I need to move over to my professional page. So starting in June, guys, these rants and all of these things, they have to move because I'm almost to the 5,000 friend limit, which it's a Facebook thing, not me. But I was thinking about it the other day. One of my friends, Helena, was saying to somebody else, you know, why don't you just kick people off so that you have a little more room in your 5,000? But I really thought about it. Like, some of the people that I'm connected to on Facebook, I've never met, which is fine because people see me on TV or meet me at conferences, but totally great. But for the majority of them, I don't know how they get on my friend list. And would you guys even care if I kicked the bucket? You know, I don't know.
It is when you deactivate your Facebook account for a few months, and when you come back, it's like, hey, nice to see you back. It's like business as usual, you
exactly.
know?
Not like, where have you been? Yeah, well,
that's what I do. I use my official page, as I call it, my main page for everything, and that
is
way.
it like a public figure page?
Yeah, and then that way everything's there, and you don't have, there's interaction, but it's more about just trying to inspire people and update people.
And so, are you tracking every place that you go on that page?
I am.
What's the name of the page so we can all find it?
It's April Chandler, just, facebook.com, April Chandler.
April Chandler. So we can follow her. It's not a Grand Slam. What are you calling it?
It's the Explorers Grand Slam.
Explorers Grand Slam. Awesome. So, hey, Johan, are you in...
They do care about you, see.
Monaco? Thank you, Jonathan. You do care. Well, it's so funny. I don't talk about death a lot, but I don't remember why it came up last week. My daughter and I were talking about it, and we were starting to talk about gravestones and burials, and somebody in our family recently said, you know, I don't want a burial, I don't want a big funeral, I want to be cremated. And even my father was saying, you know, I want to be cremated, and he has a very specific place that he wants his ashes sprinkled around. And, you know, my daughter was asking me about me, and I said, no, I definitely just want to be cremated. I don't want to be stuck in the ground somewhere. And then she thought, well, you know, you could be compost. You know, it's like, oh my darling, does anybody know that song, that oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know the end of it? It's like,
it's a long time since I've heard it, but I know.
But the end of it is what, you are dead and gone forever, oh my darling Clementine. But then he gets to the point where he says, you're compost for the roses, oh my darling Clementine.
Which is true.
And I was like, I never remembered that part of the song. And so I said, well, yeah, why don't you do that? Why don't you just sprinkle my ashes, and then I could be compost for some trees. And then it started this whole conversation like, well, should we grow vegetables with you? And I'm like, no, because then you'd be eating the vegetables and you'd be eating me, which would make you a cannibal,
weird, right?
and then you wouldn't be officially vegan anymore. Yes, Johan, the wind is too strong, which is why we're indoors. I started this little broadcast outside on the Croisette, and it's way too windy.
It's gorgeous out there. It's hot.
So, Cher, thank you so much. So she says, level of social media usage is one for the checklist of likes and dislikes in relationships. So you said that you would want to know if I was moving planets and that you'd hold me in eternal light and love. Thank you, Cher. Mwah. Yeah, I don't know if I would go to another planet. We can talk about what happens after death. It'll be a different realm, maybe a parallel universe. Don't know if it'll be a planet, though. But that's a conversation for another day.
Well, I think I'll be coming back probably a few more times. I believe in that sort of. I'm a Buddhist.
So you're not ready to become enlightened this lifetime?
I you know, sometimes I think the mistakes that I've made, especially recently, I like, no, I'm coming back at least 10 more times. And then I sort of become minimalist, and I'm sort of like living, I mean, obviously I'm vegan and everything else, but then I think, you know, how far am I from reaching that sort of nirvana? But I don't think it's this life. I think I'm going to have to sort of come back and try this again.
Well, it depends. It depends on how much you're willing to do, and it depends on your belief system. Because certainly within the Buddhist system, you can achieve an enlightenment in this lifetime. And in fact, one would say you need to be practicing the Dharma with ardency so that you can. And, there are actually some karma clearing rituals that we practice. But that's a whole other story. So Jonathan asks, what takes us to Cannes? Well, for me, one is it's the festival, and April is in town, and my daughter's coming back. So today was like the perfect day to meet right here, right now, where all of these three beautiful occurrences would happen all at once. But what made you decide to be here right now?
For the festival.
For the film festival.
Yeah, I've got other friends that have come into town. Roy, who I've known for over 10 years, he comes every year. He deals with, quite a lot of Kevin Spacey's, people like that. And Cos, who's a director of horror films, which completely spooked me out. And so I'm seeing him later with Karina, who's an actress, and she was one in the horror movie who completely that was you? That's crazy. But she's absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm seeing those guys here a bit later, hanging out. And then this is my last sort of what I call my last day of
civilized life?
Civilization.
And she's back in a tent, y'all, for those of you just tuning in. Well, it is really beautiful and glamorous. I'm so sorry that the wind is so bad that I couldn't be out there broadcasting, because it really is, it is beautiful here, and it's glamorous, and, with the sea and the palm trees, it's just amazing. So Johan says, if I were to become compost, he's sure that beautiful flowers would grow on that part of land. Thank you, Johan. And say hi to little Leo, who's becoming a fine young man. How adorable. Yeah, well, this is your last moment of civilization for the Cannes Film Festival with all the glitz and the glamour. I wonder if any of you all do you tune into this at all? Or does it just seem like it's a bunch of, I don't know, foo-foo-la-la, waste of time? I have actually met some really amazing people over the years being at the Cannes Film Festival, and I don't know, it's part of it is glamorous. It is fun to just finally see these people who are so excited their film is being screened, and it's all this, excitement, especially for a filmmaker. To finally have a film in a screening, it's like a big deal. It's like I was here year before last with Sienna, and walking the red carpet and seeing all these stars, and then being there for a friend who had a film in screening, and it's kind of an honor, because as a filmmaker, you are working your tail off and putting all of your creativity on the line, and many of us putting your money on the line. And then to finally see it, on the screen with a real live audience watching you, and hopefully you did get to walk up the red steps. It's
incredible.
It's an honor, and it's fun, and it's just part of the process. So, yeah. So Shireen, how many F-rated films? F-rated? What do you mean F-rated? F? Rating F? F as in, I don't know.
What's F?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking Shireen and Sherry. You're not usually
women directed. Ah, okay.
Female. Okay. Women directed, women protagonists, women's stories without a central focus on men. There you go. Well, there are always pockets of soirees that people come to where they do celebrate black people in film and women in film, and all ethnicities. But I haven't, F is for feminist. See, and you know what, I have to laugh at that. Why didn't I know that? I didn't know. When I was talking to Malcolm from Malcolm Out Loud, the guy who created the America Out Loud network, he describes me as a feminist. And I was like, how did I get that label? He's like, you toe the line for the feminists out there. And I'm like, well, I have feminist beliefs, but he made it sound like all feminists were against men, which I just think is a bunch of nonsense. But That's the thing. Okay, so Shireen says it's a new rating, F for feminist. Feminist rated films.
See, I'm quite anti sort of labels.
I don't like labels either. I feel like they're limiting, and what you inherit with a label is you inherit the good and the bad. So if there's ever been an outlier, like there are feminists that hate men. I love men, and y'all know. I love men. I am all about equality for the sexes, for the genders. Abso-freaking-lutely. All about equality, but as a feminist, I don't believe that we have to put down men or hate men or slam men. Absolutely not. I believe in human rights. More of a human.
Just, being human and compassion and having gratitude. There's a few things I believe all come make a happy life, and it's like the mindfulness, the focus, the passion, having gratitude. But labels, the more that we zone in on these like boxes, it throws all actually being awake out the window almost.
Yeah, because you're always being evaluated. As soon as there's a label, I mentioned this last time. Little boxes on. Remember that stuff? But yeah, as soon as we're having to tick off a box or label ourselves, then that means there's some sort of a standard.
Yeah, and we're limited, and we've been judged as, okay, well, you're this and you're that, and actually, you may have done one thing that means that you are that. Like as you say, some things you believe in may make you a feminist, but not all of it. And yet you've been labelled as a feminist, and if you say, well, I'm a feminist, people will go, okay, well, you're this, this, and this, and this.
That's right. Like, so you're burning your bras and you hate men. I'm like, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
Hey, Kim, I wish you were here too. You need to have a film over here in the film festival, or maybe one of your students. Kim Brantley is someone I've known for 10 plus years, whom I met at my wellness center in Washington, D.C., and now she's helping other people become screenwriters. So we're gonna partner up on some stuff. And Jill, I see you joined from the Body Well in California. So Jonathan says we are shining lights, showing the potential of women without any hint of being anti-men. Honey, I love me some men. I love all people, but yeah, definitely I'm not anti-man. So Shireen says she completely agrees. Equality, mutuality. Filmmaking has powerful influence, and the F rating was about ensuring women's gaining stronger platform. Melvin says he likes that F rated. I think it's important too. I mean, I definitely think that we have to make certain, not concessions, but certain efforts to put more women, more ethnicities, more minorities, and that crosses over to sexual preference and orientation.
It's a shame we have to do that.
It is a shame, but until everyone is on board with the whole equality and mutuality thing, I think we do need to make an effort. It's not all about reparations. I don't want to get all political on you, but we do need to make an effort. And I think until everyone gets on board and we can completely erase this idea that we have to look at gender and count up the number of, brown people. This is my thing, counting up the number of brown people who are in a film or in a series. We're getting there. Did we order tea, or do we have to go somewhere to get tea?
No, I was just going to say that we have to go to the bar.
Oh.
Yeah, when I went there, they said, sorry, no, we can't bring tea to you. We have to go to the top floor.
Okay,
so that's I
see two people who look like management. They're in their suits and they're kind of looking over here like, what are these ladies doing over there? They look like they're broadcasting. And you know how that is. Hello, Silvana. Ciao, Bella. So, anyway, well, any big questions? I'm still not seeing any questions. No reparations. Moving forward, says Kim. Yeah, I just say we have to move forward with boldness. I want a certain, I think something is shifting inside of me. As Malcolm and I were talking, and he was like, yeah, The Enlightened Life as a show name, too soft, doesn't represent you. Because I am getting to be a little more outspoken, and I don't know. I guess, I don't know if it's a matter of age, or stage.
Or wisdom and confidence in yourself and your
Wisdom.
you know.
See how nice she is now? Oh, it's wisdom and confidence.
But it's also the more you feel good inside, and I think being vegan in a way actually makes you more awake. It's not that I'm judging people that are not vegan, but for me, within a few days, it was almost like a veil came down in front of me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can see so clearly. And it's the more awake you are, the more you don't want to sit on the fence.
Yeah.
And I'm actually okay with not people not liking me, and there's quite a lot of people that don't.
I'm fine with it too.
And that's okay. And but I would rather be honest and say what I believe. And if that ruffles some feathers, then too bad.
Yeah. I mean, we can't please everyone. And, it's interesting. People have always asked me why I don't mind when there are haters or trolls who say negative stuff. But one of the things that is interesting, many people who grow up as actors or models, they are very insecure. But I grew up doing a little bit of modeling and professional stuff, and I never took on the negative side. It was interesting for me that I could go, and if I didn't get a part, I never thought, I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't skinny enough, I wasn't whatever enough. I just kind of always knew that, okay, the casting director or the director, they're just looking for something else. And I don't even know how I got it, but I just never took it personally. And so when I realize that someone doesn't like me or my vibe or what I'm into, I just don't take it personally. I give zero fucks. Anyway, so Kim says we are restructuring the conversation regarding women and people of color in film and TV. We no longer live by another's self-serving conversation about us. Yeah, and too bad if everyone doesn't like us. Yeah, I think we have to do that. And the good news, the thing that I find empowering about today with technology, whether you're a coach or a healer or a filmmaker, is there's no more boundaries. You don't have to. I always share how interesting it was working for Discovery Channel. We would have hundreds of pitches every year for people who wanted to have a documentary or host a show on our network, and 98% of those were denied. And nowadays, you don't have to go to some network for distribution of your film or your idea. If you've got a smartphone, you've got a full production studio right there. And as long as you got some Wi-Fi, you can upload your stuff and
Amazon Prime,
broadcast it out to the world. So yeah, if you want to monetize, you've got Netflix, you've got Amazon. But even if you just have a message to share, we have the ability to take the conversation back, as you're saying, Kim, restructuring it. And we don't have to worry about fitting into some network's ideal or commercial appeal.
I think it's the same with publishing houses as well.
Oh yeah.
When people say to me, why do I self-publish? It's because I want to run my show. And, publishing houses would probably reject me anyway.
That's not true. Not this publishing house.
No, but honestly...
Make Your Mark Global would love to publish you. But no, we're not the big five.
No,
so.
But it's because they again, it's like they box you into categories. And I just think, in this day and age, anyone can be an author.
Yep.
If you want to write a book, just write a book.
Yeah, and get it out there.
And get it out there and just... create space or something like that, just do it. Even if you only sell 5 copies, you've done it. And once you've done that, you'll feel amazing and you'll want to do more.
I always tell first-time authors that there is a whole transformational process that goes on inside of you just by becoming a published author. And in fact, I don't know if you're still with us, Sarah Kate, but Sarah and I had a conversation this morning. And Sarah, are you there? Can I tell them? Chime in if you're there. We have a new book project where we are inviting coaches, healers, therapists, other light workers to share one story with us in a new book. It's a collective anthology which will be global. And there she says, hey, go for it. No, you need to type it in there because I don't think I've fully... Oh, wait, I've got my phone. Hang on, y'all. I'm going to announce to the world, and then I need to go get my daughter from the ferry drop-off point. Here go. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. So, here you go, guys. Where is it? So, here is the new book. If you have a message that you want to get out to the world, here is our next book release, The Roots of Purpose. 20 coaches, healers, and mentors share their personal stories of transforming from cookie-cutter career people to soul-led, purposeful change makers. Oh yeah, baby, it is on. So can you imagine we're going to have 20 of you going global with this book release and getting it out there. You're going to feel the transformation of sharing your story, getting your message out, because that's what we got to do. So Kim has asked, and if you want to know more about this book and you'd like to contribute and be a part of it, private message me or hit up Sarah Kate, because Sarah, she says, you know, I'm not really like you guys. I'm not all that spiritual and whatever. And she's like, but I get downloads when I'm around you. And wherever we're like, Sarah Kate and I were on this morning, and she got a download. When I was talking to her about the book, the title and the subtitle just sprang forth. So Kim has asked if you would reintroduce yourself, because she just joined. This is April Chandler.
Hello, Kim. Basically, I'm an author. I'm just about to release a new book called Wonder Life as It Happens, and which I'm self-publishing. Again, because
Wonder Life.
Wonder Life.
I love it.
It's different chapters of, you know, what I regard as being, you know, to give you love and happiness, basically. But basically, I'm on a 2.5-year world road trip. And I'm doing the Explorers Grand Slam, which is the 7 summits. I go from here through to, hi Kim, through to Spain, Morocco, Africa. I'm involved in some projects there to show the best in humanity. Actually, I'm going to be with Global Angels in November.
Oh, okay.
Who I'm an ambassador for. I'm also going to be with Ubuntu in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, who have an education program. I'm then going to South America. I'm climbing Aconcagua, and I'm also getting involved in Pret's, you know, Pret à Manger, the shop that they do all natural. It's like a coffee shop. Like
Pret à Manger?
Pret à Manger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have a foundation and they hire homeless people. And I've been involved in...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's absolutely...
It's beautiful.
I've been involved with them for a few years, and they hire apprentices to be on their apprenticeship scheme.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And being involved in their workshops, it's absolutely mind-blowing, because you see, like, their struggles, how they got to work, you know, where they slept the night before, like, just even getting a shower before they start. That's like one of the conditions, obviously, because they're serving food and drinks. So I'm involved with them, and I'm visiting a coffee plantation where they get their coffee from in Peru.
When?
That is at the beginning of next year in South America, in Peru.
Okay.
So
I'm going to Peru in July.
are you? Oh,
For a spiritual retreat.
Oh well, yeah, I won't get there until, because I do the climb Aconcagua first.
Oh, wow.
And then I go there. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm around the world trying to inspire other people. And as a vegan, it's going to be different as well, climbing these mountains, because I think there's one vegan guy that's done 2 of the 7 summits. Not that I'm trying to sort of like break any records, but at the end of the day, you know, I am a vegan and I'm a woman, and I'm going to do the, you know, Explorers Grand Slam. Only 56 people in the world have ever done it.
Wow.
So,
and she's documenting it, Kim, in case you were curious.
It's
So it's being filmed. She's got the crew that gets to live a little bit of a nicer life. They fly in, shoot the great stuff, and then get to, you know, sleep in a nice cushy hotel where she's sleeping in a tent. So
yeah, but I've got one of those really easy ones.
You've got a really nice.
I've got 2.
You want to stay at our place tonight? Have a nice hot shower
in the garden. Actually, the first couple of campsites I went to, you know, you had to put a chain every like 5 seconds for hot water. It was like, okay, this is living real life, you know. Yeah. But I posted a picture of me just coming out of the shower, not obviously naked, but just the top part with the chain, because, you know, we take so much for granted in the West,
yes.
and in Africa, they're walking 20 miles just to get drinking water.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to show it's easy for anyone to go and stay in a hotel and have a luxury life, but actually to be on the road, to camp, and to, struggle to get a shower. I did this morning, don't worry. So
I know, but I'm
smelling.
I'm feeling guilty because
You shouldn't be guilty.
well, no,
feel
because I'm
guilty.
thinking about my bathtub.
Oh, yeah, but that's...
I love a nice hot bath with
yeah.
bubbles and candles, and I'm
And-
like,
yeah.
you should come to our place
Yeah,
tonight
it's-
before you go back on your next little. Road trip.
It's luxury, and that's one of the things that in the West we see it as a necessity, but actually to a lot of people it's a luxury.
It is a luxury.
And they don't get access to what we get access to. So so there might be some times where I do sort of smell, but I won't be able to tell myself because
She
get
doesn't
used to
smell
it.
you off.
So not today.
Not today. She's got makeup.
Sounds
Her
like
lips are
pastel.
done.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I'll be... actually, this is the first time I've
Manas
worn makeup
Brazil.
in 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah,
How's it
but-
feel?
It's weird, actually, because it's... I've been doing lots of videos completely au naturel, with just coconut oil on my face. And,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, this is the first time.
So-
No, I've been wearing dresses lately. My daughter loves it, so she'll be surprised to see me. Which I think I need to get out of here and head across the street to the ferry pickup point to see if Sienna and her school crew is back. But I'm so glad we got to meet, and you have my number. So if you do want a hot shower and a nice vegan meal with us tonight after your little
that would be
experience
luxury.
here in Cannes, although she's here in Cannes, yeah, not a lot of great vegan stuff, but always some good grilled Mediterranean vegetables, you can find out here. Nobody else knows you smell. Mum's the word.
Well, I'm not smelling yet, but probably 2 months in Africa. Dealing in I'll be in a rhino sanctuary with baby rhinos.
Well, everybody
and lion
smells there.
cubs. Yeah,
I'm sure the
I'm gonna-
rhinos outsmell you, so no worries. Well,
Well,
thanks.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you for allowing us to just dip into your Grand Slam adventure and learn more about you. So now when we start to report on what April's up to, my little tribe will understand and know what we're talking about. And thank you all for tuning in for my Friday live. I will be continuing to do this.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kim.
Yes. So Monday, Friday, 3 p.m. Central European Time. That is 9 a.m. for you, Kim, over in the eastern parts of the United States. And Wednesdays will remain my rant day. So even though I'm going to be broadcasting now on the radio and the global podcast on Monday and Friday, Wednesday remains Verbal Tea with Andrea, my rant, where I just get to go nuts. So if you have any suggestions or questions, things you'd like for me to address, hit me up. I would love to know. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks to everyone for your good wishes. So we are going to send lots of positive vibes April's way, and as I mentioned, for that gentleman who in Monaco, for those of you who are willing to send some prayers and some health and some healing, my friend, let me pull up his name. His name is Severino. So for those of you can imagine sending love and healing energy to Severino, especially to his head, that would be lovely. So lots of love to everyone. Mwah. Kisses, bisous, bisous from the south of France. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.